It was a dry and sunny day across the city. The east-northeasterly winds picking up a little this afternoon. If you've been sleeping well, it could be thanks to the cooler nights we've been having. The temperature dropping to as low as 12 in some suburbs this morning, while daytime temperatures were closer to average, reaching 32 in Penrith and in Richmond. It was much warmer in the state's northwest, where a severe heat wave pushed the temperature to 45 degrees at Smithville. Tropical cyclone Sean is moving away from Western Australia's coast and weakening. However, it's dragging a hot air mass from Australia's interior to the west coast. Brisbane is in for a partly cloudy day tomorrow, 36 degrees. A mostly sunny start to the day for Canberra, with a slight chance of a shower, 33, and showers clearing in Melbourne, 21. The severe heatwave conditions will continue to build over northeast parts of the state tomorrow, but should ease later in the week with a southerly change. Newcastle will be mostly sunny, a top of 36 degrees. It'll be windy too, with a gale warning from the Hunter to the Illawarra coast, including Sydney and in the harbour. Here in Sydney, we are expecting a dry and partly cloudy day with a chance of afternoon showers or storms. Tonight should be warmer, around 19 degrees, heading up to 35 in the city. It'll be warmer across our suburbs, reaching close to 40 degrees in some places, 38 forecast for Liverpool, 37 in Blacktown, Parramatta and Killyville, and 36 in Terry Hills. The heat won't last too long. Cool southwesterly winds should cool things down from late tomorrow afternoon, with Thursday looking much cooler with a chance of early morning showers, about 25 degrees. About the same on Friday before temperatures begin to climb again over the weekend. 27 forecast for Saturday and 29 on Sunday. After tomorrow's heat, it will be a welcome cool change in our west on Thursday, 25, 27 on Friday, before warming back up with the long weekend forecast currently looking pretty good, Georgie.
Hello again. It's been a pleasant day here at Melbourne Park for the All Abilities celebrations. Unlike yesterday, southerly winds managed to push into the city. We reached our maximum of 28 at 11:30 this morning, but it's held form since then, still sitting on 24. Geelong made it to 27 degrees, but for suburbs where the northerlies persisted, it got significantly hotter. Yarra Glen peaked at 38, 37 at Epping and Ringwood. Further out, Swan Hill and Shepparton both reached 41 degrees. That was 20 degrees warmer than Cape Nelson. It peaked at 21. Looking elsewhere, severe tropical cyclone Sean is spinning further away from the mainland, but severe heat waves are persisting for large parts of WA and also Queensland. For the country's southeast, a cold front is closing in on Tasmania. It'll bring a few showers overnight and some cooler and windier conditions tomorrow. A top of just 18 degrees on the way for Hobart, 28 degrees for Adelaide. Sydney's heading for 35 before a cool and gusty change in the afternoon. 36 degrees in Brisbane and another scorcher in Perth, heading for 38. Back home, it'll be a tale of two halves. A warm and dry Wednesday north of the Ranges, with maximums in the high 20s and low 30s. Winds will be noticeably stronger than today, especially through the northern country. In the south, most places are heading for the low 20s, with a few showers contracting to Gippsland later in the day, up to 3 millimetres at Mallacoota. Here in Melbourne, morning showers shouldn't amount to anything more than 1 millimetre, but daytime temperatures will take a big hit. It'll only warm up to 22 or 23 degrees after minimums of 15 and 16. For Geelong, a low of 16 with a possible shower, clearing to a top of 22. In the city, showers from 4 or 5 a.m. and another burst expected around 9. It should clear for the day's tennis though, a top of 21 degrees. Dry on Thursday, 21 degrees again, 23 on Friday. The warming trend will continue on Saturday, 25 degrees. 29 for an Australia Day barbecue on Sunday, and at this stage, 37 degrees on Monday, back to 23 on Tuesday. It's going to be a cooler day tomorrow, but the UV will still be extreme, so a jumper and some sunscreen if you're heading to the tennis. Tom and Alicia.
Tonight, Melissa, a severe heatwave warning in place for the southeast for our Wednesday, and we have had a severe thunderstorm warning in place this evening as well. That has just been cancelled, but have a look at these shots. It's certainly packed a punch. A very small cell heading out to around Ipswich and Somerset. You can see here copping it with some hail and very strong wind gusts as well. Likely to see a repeat performance around the southeast tomorrow with those intense temperatures heading our way. If you look at today's temps from around the southeast, we can expect it 5 to 6 degrees warmer tomorrow for all of us. 31 degrees it was for the city today, 29 degrees along the coast, and getting up to 33 degrees today for Ipswich. If we look at tomorrow's weather map, showers and storms on the way for the northern tropics. A nice day for us in southeast Queensland until those storms possibly fire up though late tomorrow afternoon. Around the grounds tomorrow, windy and hot for Sydney. A shower or two and just 21 degrees on the way for Melbourne. Partly cloudy for Adelaide. High 30s on the way for Perth tomorrow, and a shower or two in the top end for Darwin. Back home, partly cloudy and temps in the low 30s along the North Queensland coast, but low 40s in the west. It will be a scorching day for the eyes right the way through to Roma. Could see some storms around Roma tomorrow afternoon, and through the Capricornia coast tomorrow we'll see those temperatures in the mid-30s, both Rocky and Gladstone, and similar through the Fraser coast where we could see a late storm, particularly around Gympie. Here in the southeast, as I mentioned, a warm day on the way. The sunny coast tomorrow getting up to 35 degrees. Ipswich 38 degrees, and here on the Gold Coast 35. Overnight temps only dropping down to around 20 for most areas. Slight chance of a shower, mostly around the sunny coast, but as I mentioned, we could see those storms fire up late tomorrow afternoon, particularly around the Sunshine Coast and in the western suburbs. Not a bad day out on the bay though. Northwesterly winds 10 to 15 knots. We'll see seas around a metre, getting up to around 1.5 metres offshore. And for the city, a top of 36 degrees tomorrow, dropping down tonight to 22. And looking ahead for our Australia Day long weekend, it will cool off. Temperatures around 30 degrees for Saturday, 31 for Sunday and Monday. For Ipswich, 36 the top for Friday. Here on the Gold Coast, 34 the top for our Friday. And for you on the sunny coast, getting up to 37 degrees. So we're going to need the aircon on tomorrow, Melissa.
It's pretty easy conditions around Adelaide today. A little bit on the windy side up here looking over the city, but apart from that, no complaints as we came in a couple of degrees under the forecast, around that 29 degree mark in the end. Around the suburbs, we still did get to around 30 degrees through many of our northern suburbs like Elizabeth and Mawson Lakes. It was a touch softer by the coast with 27 at Glenelg. The temperatures were not as welcoming up north, still in the 40s at Cooper Pedy, Roxby Downs and Broken Hill, but much milder in other spots like Kingscote with 27 and Hindmarsh Island with 24. So what's bringing the slightly milder conditions? Well, it's all about the high pressure system in the bight there, directing those southerlies or southeasterlies over us for the next few days. If you're travelling interstate, Sydney is looking windy in the afternoon with the chance of thunderstorms. Melbourne, a shower or two, clearing to 21 degrees. Back to South Australia, and the winds are up around Whyalla and Port Augusta and still warm at Port Pirie with 34 degrees. Noticeably cooler in parts of the south though, with 23 degrees for Mount Gambier and Victor Harbour and 28 for Murray Bridge. Still some marine wind warnings around central and southern coastlines, including the Spencer Gulf and the southeast, while on local waters we're expecting south to southeasterlies around 15 to 20 knots. So around our suburbs tomorrow, we are still nudging 30 degrees at Elizabeth, but across the board you'll generally see those softer temperatures. So we're looking at 27 degrees for Glenelg and 25 for Mount Barker, looking partly cloudy and dry. We have a dry 28 degrees on the way for you in the city. A touch windy, it shouldn't be anything, too crazy. And it's basically looking dry. I know some people had hoped for the odd shower with these milder conditions, but I'm afraid I can't really promise that, certainly for Adelaide. After that, we're seeing temperatures in the 20s for the rest of the week. So we've got 28 and 26 degrees, but the milder conditions aren't lasting all that long. Although I have to say on Sunday, we're actually jumping all the way back up to 37 degrees.